Okay, so let's get back into doing some magic, okay? Let's see here. So today we want to talk about color changes, whether they're quick changes or slow changes. We're going to go over a couple of different options. So with this, you can do a setup, which we're going to talk about later, or you can just do it right on the fly. So let's go ahead and start with what a slow one looks like. This is the old Erdnase change, right? There's a couple of variants that we can talk about. So basically, all you're going to do is you're going to take your hand over the top. And simply by warming up the card, you can even open up your hands if you really wanted to. Maybe not that much. And then you can slowly turn it into the 5. I don't know how that looked on camera, but that's the nice little Erdnase, which is pretty decent. Now, if you give the cards a little over-the-top shuffle, which makes no sense whatsoever, there we go, that's a little bit easier. Okay, this is what it might look like if you want to do something a little bit different, right? So let's say you go ahead and take the ace right there. You're going to do the same deal, right? Okay, the only difference is you're going to go for one of these maneuvers right like this, right? Okay, then you're actually going to keep going, and you're actually going to change it. Now, you know what's going to happen, right? Your card has disappeared and turned into the 8 of spades, right? So what we call that is we call that subverting expectations. Now, let's say you do this and you cut the deck. Now you've just set yourself up for this idea, because now you're saying, okay, 6 is there, Jack is there, but when you go into the center, there is one card and one card that is face up, and that's your ace of spades. So you've kind of set yourself up. You can play around with that idea. That's all based on the Erdnase. Okay, let's talk about a couple of quick changes, right? You can do something like this for a quick change. Now, this is something that Jesse Eisenberg exposed after Now You See Me, right? Now, we're going to talk about the idea of doing it up here away from the deck. Looks great, right? There's your ace of spades back again, okay? Now, doing it away from the deck doesn't really make sense, because then there's no cover, especially if you have to move yourself back down to here. Whereas if you do it off from the deck, look at this. Doing it off from the deck, you have so much range where you can drop the card, spin this card over to here, and then easily place this into the center. And then, of course, you can find this card here, but of course you can find this card here. So that's a quick change idea. Now, there's a variance on a quick change that I like. Now, this is a reversal quick change, and that's going to look something like this. You can do, back to the slow idea, you can either do it up here where you've got the 6. Okay, watch it carefully as it turns into the ace. Okay. Alternatively, I can actually rub it on my arm, and it will turn back into the 6. Okay, both is good justification. Now, if you want a quick change, this is the one I've practiced. You can flip it down into the ace. Alternatively, you could do something like this and really get it nice and going. That one's nice because this one requires you to shoot the card. So if you're not as happy with that, okay, if you're not as happy with your turnover color change, if you can't catch it like I can't. It looks good when you get it right, but this one also looks pretty good, because the idea here is you're getting a bend in the card and you're just going to change it over. Now imagine you've got something like a jack and a queen, and you want to turn it from a red queen into a black queen into a red jack, or vice versa. So there's some alternative ways to do that. Now, here's something that I want to talk about, an idea for you. This goes off from my idea, the cards that I like to do, the card trick that I like to do that people seem to think works differently than it actually does. So the point of this trick is to subvert expectations. So we're going to do 2 different variants of that trick. Let's see here. And we're going to want probably the 2 of hearts. Probably do good here. Okay, now, here's a smaller version of that trick. You're going to load up deuces right on top there, and you're going to do the 4 of hearts on the top. Now, you're going to get a break under 3 cards. Nice little pinky break as you turn over your 4 of hearts. Now, what works here is when you've picked it up, you've actually picked up the 2s. And now when you do your change, you've just changed it from the 4 to the 2. Now, you could even do this. Maybe you want a color change, right? So you're like, well, what if we turn our 4? Awesome. See, that's the kind of stuff you got to deal with when you're doing magic, right? If you don't drop your cards, you're not doing it right. Anyway, so back to where we were at here. So there's your 4. 2's going to go in there like that. Okay, so you basically try to hold on to it. And that's another reason why having the deck there is nice, because you can use it to catch. It looks good. You just turned it from the 4 to the 2, but now when you spread, you've actually, look at that, you've added a secondary part to that trick, which is nice. That's why I like this version here. I don't necessarily use the deck for this, and I'm going to teach you this move right now, right? Okay? Here's how this works, and this is how you can easily get into it. If you leave these cards on the top, you can simply just grab. You can grab a card off the top like this. Okay, now you have a nice 8 of clubs already set up into this trick. You're actually going to turn that 8. Yeah, you're going to turn the 8 into a, well, it looks like a 4 and a 2, right? Because that does sometimes happen. Now, of course, here's what you're wondering. If you've got a 4 and a 2 here, then the 8 must be over here, right? No, see, that's actually another 2, and that's a 4, and that's your 2. See what I'm saying? That right there is a totally shocking move. I love it. People think that I hide the card up my sleeve, but that's not necessarily the case. What I'm actually doing here is I'm actually creating this moment for you, okay, of magic. That's what's happening for you, okay? But in reality, this is what's happening, okay? Are we exposing magic here for clout? No, we're exposing magic to teach you. This is a move that I didn't create the lapping move, but for all intents and purposes, I created this trick off from the color change. Okay? The idea here is you're going to take the 4 and you're going to put it into your hand, into a Tenkai palm, or just grip it like this. Then you're going to put your 2s here and your 8 here, and you're just going to make sure that you're not going too crazy. Even a gambler's cop could work. You know, you just want to hide that card. But see, I don't like that grip. I'm not terrible with this because you're justifying it using the wand technique. So when you flip it over, keep in mind that you've got your 2s. Separating is good. Exposing is bad. So you want to turn a little bit to this direction. So 8 here. Keep this over here, whether in your Tenkai palm or just gripping it with your ring finger against your hand. Looks natural. Do the change, but expose the back card. You want them to see this card. It's intentional, trust me. Now, if you can get this move to work 100% of the time, if you can get the 8 to land on top of the 4, even better. But from here, exposing it just enough so that they're only seeing the one card is good. Okay, you don't want to go too far. You just want them to see that you have that card back there because you got the 2s here, and you can kind of see that card floating there, which is good. When you reach over here to grab this card, you're actually going to square up the 2 cards with your coverage of your 2s. And you say, okay, I've got the 2s here, which is good. You're going to slide back. That's all you're going to do is slide back, and you're going to drop one of the cards into your lap right here. Boom. Okay? And now under cover. So there's justification that you're showing them the 2s, and you're lapping the 1 card. So now when you come over here and you slide out the 4 and the 2s, there's your 8 right there. You've divided it. That's how it's done. Come on, people. That's how it's done. And I just showed you how you could get into that. So basically how you do this is you want to have the 4 on top, and then the 8, and then the 2s, and then the 8. So down like this. So it's going to be a 4, 2s, and then an 8. Perfect. You're going to get the first one into a Tenkai or Gambler's Cop, and then you're just going to grab it with your ring finger. Again, turning to the side, everything's covered here. Then you're just going to go with a triple lift here, and you can spin it up like this. Works out good. Just be careful not to angle this hand too much. Go from here. This is fine. As you take your hand away, pop it up. Okay, remember, then you can dip a little bit to give them access to one of those cards in the middle here. Because there's cover here, not too far, and then there's about right there is going to be good if they're from here. Okay, then you're going to come down here like this, turn, show the cards here, show the cards here, do your ditch, and then come out wide, away from each other, and expose the 4 and the 2s. Boom. And there's your move. There's your move. Then all you have to do, you've got these here like this. You can reach for the deck. So this is down here. You got these cards here like this. You just turn over here, which is coverage with this arm as you bring this back to here. Okay, bring this to here, then swoop these up. There's your coverage. And there you have some quick changes. And right there at the end, you got some magic. Magic, magic, magic. Some quick changes, some slow changes. Just have fun with it. Just change your cards into other cards. It's great stuff. It's great stuff. For instance, let's say you want to do something like this. We're going to come into the deck box, and we're going to show you one more move. Okay, it's going to look something like... Oh, I don't have it. I don't have one. Sorry. That's okay. Let's take a look in the deck. No. Okay. So let's go ahead with something like this. You're going to have a card selected. This card is going to be the Jack, right? Now we're going to take the Jack and we're going to put it into the pack like this. Okay? That's all we got to do. That's all we have to do. Now, as we cut the cards to the table, shoot a card out from my hand. Don't worry, it's your card. Magic. Oh, good stuff, good stuff. If you want to know how I did that, don't ask, because I have no idea. It just happened like that. Just kidding. Actually, I thought your card was the Jack of Diamonds. No, it wasn't the Jack of Diamonds. I don't know what I was doing. It seemed fun, though. Let's explore that real quick. We want to do our mid-month review pretty soon here. Probably a little bit later. We tried to do it live. Didn't work. So let's talk about this trick. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to start with one card face up on the bottom. Have a card selected. Today that card is going to be the King. Now we're going to take the King and we're going to place it into the center of the deck. Very nice, right? Then we're simply going to cut the cards. Nope, that's not right. Okay. Then, no, how does that work? I don't even know what I just did. Let's see, if we cut the cards to the table and shoot this card out, your card should be... I have no idea. I'll have to watch the tape back, because that could be a magic trick in itself, because your card... What was your card? I've baffled myself. Okay, let's try this again. You start with, like, say the Queen of Hearts is on the bottom, right? Have a card selected. This time we're going to remember your card, which is the Jack. Okay, now we're going to take the Jack and we're going to put it face up into the middle of the pack. Very good. Now all we got to do is we've got to cut the cards to the table. One card comes out, and it's not going to be your card, because it's technically like this. So when you shoot it out like this, their card should be face up in the deck. But what is happening? Okay. I'm like doing real magic here, and I have no idea how I'm doing it. Okay, so let's try this again. 3 of Hearts, face up on the bottom of the deck. Select one card. Remember the 4 of Hearts. The 4 of Hearts is going to go into the center of the pack. Okay, so that's what's happening. Okay. So when I do this, now we're going to do it. We're going to put this face down into the center of the pack. See how it's face up there? Very nice. Magic. Then we cut the deck to the table, shoot one card out. And that card should be probably not your card, because your card is actually face up in the center. How do I make that work? How did I do it the first time? Was that your card? Because technically, it would be if I did it and then cut right to your card. Ooh, let's see if I can do that. We're just playing around now. That's all we're doing. 9 of clubs face up on the bottom of the deck. Have a card selected. 3 of spades. Now, if you put it face up here, then it would be wrong. So I want to turn it over here, and I want to put it face up. Okay? That means it's going to be face down here. Trust me. Follow along here. Okay, then we're simply going to cut it to the table and basically shoot one card out. What that's going to allow us to do is shoot it to the top of the deck, and then it simply does what it's told. Nope, too many cards. Triple it. Boom. Let's see if we can clean that up a little bit. Start with a card face down on the bottom of the deck. Random card, doesn't matter. Have a card selected. Today it's going to be the 5 of spades. We're going to put that face up into the pack here. When we turn it over, that's going to be face down. We lost it. Terrible at magic. You ever notice that? 5 of diamonds. Remember the card. 5 of diamonds is going to go face up into the pack here, but it's going to be face down on this side. Okay, so we have the 5 of diamonds. Here we go. 5 of diamonds. Very nice. Okay. Then we cut to the table. Then we shoot one card out of our hand. Without even picking it up, we're going to just make one card. See, I would rather... How do I do that and get it to the second card? That's... I mean, obviously I know how to do... So this is how, if you didn't want to turn a card face over, turn it over, then you just have a card selected like this. Boom, it's the 6. You're going to put it face down into the pack. Or you're going to put it face up into the pack, but it's a really weird way to do it. And then you're going to want to keep it in a gambler's... See, that's a really wonky way to do it. I'm not a fan of that. I like the other way. But then it's second from the top, which is a decent control. So let's walk through again. 6 of hearts is face up on the bottom. A card will be selected, and today that's going to be the Jack of Hearts. Okay? We lose the Jack of the Hearts. The Jack of the Hearts, yeah. We lose it into the pack, and we shoot one card from our hand, and that's going to find us the Jack of Hearts. We lose the Jack of Hearts back into the deck, and it comes right back to the top. Either way, that's what we've got going on today. Don't forget to check the links down below. Stay hydrated. That's the new thing. Stay positive, stay active, and stay awesome. And we'll see you in the next one.